Welcome inside the ballpark at Old Orchard Beach, the new home of the Greater Northeast Collegiate Baseball League for the remainder of the season. And by that, I don't just mean the venue we're in, although this is where the remainder of the playoff games in the league will be played. I mean this YouTube channel and this live stream. I am Charlie Fellows as always, but new today, coming at you live on the YouTube channel where I've been uploading my edited videos for the very first time. We finally have the technology working to bring this action to the fans that can't make it to this beautiful ballpark. I will do my best as a steward of this game and this league. And today, the first of two matchups we have today, it was three, but now it's two. We'll get to that more in a moment. The two-seeded Norsemen hosting the four-seeded Lightning with a trip to the championship game on the line. Alex Smith taking the mound for the first time this season in the starting spot for the Norsemen, with a defense around him of Chris Chimino at first, Jack Cody at second, Riley Hassan at short, Kyle Dewin at third, the outfield from left to right, Nate Rogers, Anthony Poole, David Jurowitz, as always, and Kevin Connolly, the catcher, doing the catching for Alex Smith, the senior at Hassan from Northborough, Massachusetts. This season he threw 14 2/3 innings with a 2.93 ERA and 11 strikeouts. He mainly was a designated long reliever for this club, but even with all of the starting pitching rotation in attendance today for the Norsemen, Regan Thomas, Lucas Francis, Kyle Sawyer, and Andrew Kennison all in attendance, it will be Alex Smith taking the bump, and he will first face off against Andrew Heffernan, the potent leadoff man for the Lightning. The 6-foot righty, first pitch into right field coming on Jurowitz. And he makes the grab, one pitch, one out to start this game off. Heffernan has not had the best go of things in the playoffs this year. That flyout makes it 2 for 7 in the postseason for him. He also has 2 walks. Last game, though, he reached base 4 times with 2 singles, a hit by pitch, and a walk, and 3 of those times ended in pickoffs. He was thrown out by the nor'easter catcher all those times. Now, batting second will be Campbell Cassidy, who takes strike 2. He has had a much more up and down go of things. In the wild card game, he went 3 for 4 with a 3-run home run, batted in 4 runs. That goes off the pads of Connolly, 1 and 2. Last game, though, against the Nor'easters, despite his club winning, Cassidy went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Looking to get off the schneid against the Hassan senior, 1-2. Big cut, and he goes down on strikes. First K on the day for Smith. And with 2 away, Richie Gilboy comes to the plate. One of the GNCBL's top hitters. He hit .354 during the regular season, which was 5th in the league. His 16 runs batted in were 3rd. Big cut for strike 1. Also hit 2 home runs, slugged .516. That throw from Connolly getting past Smith, but the backup man, Riley Hassan at short, keeps it from wasting all of our time. 0-1. That misses. Connolly having a tough time corralling these Alex Smith pitches so far, but with no base runners to speak of, hasn't been an issue. So far in the playoffs, Gilboy has only played 1 game and had 1 hit in that affair against the Nor'easters Thursday in Sanford, a game which his squad won in dramatic fashion. We'll get to that more in a minute. Into right field, Jurowitz ranging, and he makes the catch on the run. 1, 2, 3, go the Lightning. And 0 runs as a 1-2-3 inning would suggest. And that is the content you miss between innings normally, a muted microphone and a few seconds shuffling some set pieces behind the scenes. But we are back for the bottom of the first with the Lightning in the field. Another unorthodox starter on this side of the ball. Ian Libby has been excellent for the Lightning this season, but almost exclusively in a relief role. He has been a long reliever for this club. And once again, the Lightning have all their normal starters in attendance. Gavin Belargin, Quinn McDonald, Josh Kopetsky, all on the Lightning bench. But it will be the 6'7" right-hander out of Grey New Gloucester with the start today. A defense around him of Richie Gilboy at first, Grady Hotham at second, Henry Bebo at short, Andrew Heffernan at third. Standard outfield left to right, Matthew Connor, Henry Lodger, Campbell Cassidy, and Nick Frink doing the catching. For the Grey native, who is feeling an awful lot of regional pride right now with his Grey New Gloucester Little League squad, earning the state of Maine's first invite to the Little League World Series since 2005. When I was 2 years old, and Ian Libby could very well not have even been born yet. He will face a Norseman lineup of Kyle Doohan, Anthony Poole, Riley Hassan, Chris Cimino, Nate Rogers, Kevin Connolly, David Jurowitz, Ben Seguin, and Jack Cody. The 9-man unit with Kyle Doohan coming up to the plate now. These Norsemen coming off a 2-run win over the Patriots Thursday in Sanford. And we didn't know it then, but that was actually the last we would see of the Patriots. Despite still having a chance to advance in the losers bracket, they had to forfeit what would have been the second game today. Could not field enough players, so the Nor'easters, who would have been their opponent, they will instead float to losers finals and play the loser of this game. That game set to start immediately upon the conclusion of this one. Outside ball one from Libby to Doohan, sophomore at USM out of Augusta and Coney High School. He hit .438 this year, which is third in the GNCBL. Hits that into right. Cassidy barely has to move for out number one.
Up next, Anthony Poole.
So Anthony Poole now, junior at USM. These USM teammates almost always bat back-to-back. Poole out of South Portland. This regular season he hit .298, batted in 8 runs. In his lone playoff game, he went 0 for 3. Checked his swing, but that goes in for strike one. Doohan in that one went 2 for 3 with a double, drove in 2 runs. He was pivotal to the Norsemen's eventual win. Just both these teams 2 wins away from the title game with a win today. 2-1. With a win today, it would be 1 game away. Just got a piece of it. The playoff bracket thus far, these Lightning players had to take part in a wild card game. They lost their final 2 games in the regular season to fall from the 2nd seed all the way to 4. They had to play a winner-take-all single elimination game against the Windjammers, which they won handily, 7-2. The Windjammers henceforth being eliminated 7-2. They then faced off against the Nor'easters in a matchup of, as that goes through to right field for a base hit, Anthony Poole is on, the first base runner of the game for either side, to bring up Riley Hassan. As I was saying, the Lightning and the Nor'easters for the majority of this year were the 2 top teams in this league. They played each other a lot, split their season series, and that game was back and forth. The Nor'easters had many chances to win. That throw to first, very nearly picking off Poole, but dives back just in time. And I apologize, it seems we're getting some frame drops here. That's into left field. Second straight single off of Libby for Riley Hassan. So I was saying, this technology can be finicky sometimes.
Up next, Chris Chimino.
At the conclusion of this inning, we will see what's going on with that. Anyway, Chris Chimino will bat with 2 on and 1 away. The senior at Bates from Scarborough. Went to Cheverus High School. 1 and 1. In his playoff game, he went 1 for 3. Drove in a run. Just missing. Anyway, the Nor'easters, as I was saying, they had the bases loaded toward the end of an inning 3 times, including the very final inning, the bottom of the 7th. As Chris Chimino draws ball 4, that is something he has excelled at all year. That is his 24th walk drawn, counting those in the regular season, which paces the league. And all of a sudden, the normally nigh unflappable Ian Libby on the ropes here with 1 away and the bases loaded. Nate Rogers will bat. He takes strike 1. Rogers was 1 for 2 with a walk on Thursday. This season he hit .308, drove in 11 runs. Inside take. Right at the second baseman. Can't turn 2. That was an unfortunate place for that line drive to go. Right into the glove of Grady Hotham. Barely had to move. The runners were not cheating too far away, so nobody got doubled off, but still not ideal. For the Norsemen, still Kevin Connolly can easily put the home team ahead with a hit. He went 0 for 3 in his playoff debut. Off the end of the bat, that will be foul. Off the gloved end of the bat, anyway. This season, Connolly, sophomore in the transfer portal, coming off a year at Stonehill, hit .255, drove in 6 runs. A 1, big cut. And an outside take. Connolly was down 0-2. He's catching today, as he often does. Poole at third, Hassan at second, Chimino at first, so 1-2. Did he go around? No, he did not. That just misses. Ian Libby not happy with that. Neither are the Lightning in the dugout. Two. Right down the middle, strike 3. Ian Libby gets out of it. Deja vu for the Lightning. They had the bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the first against the Nor'easters. Were able to escape that one. So do they escape today through 1 inning? 0-0. To the second inning we go. No score. Lots of noise on the Norsemen side, but no runs to show for it. The Lightning, though, went 0 for 3 against Alex Smith in the first. They will try to break through here with Nick Frink, Henry Lodger, and Gus Holland due up. Nick Frink takes a massive cut at strike one. He is known for those. Graduate of Thornton Academy after transferring there from Scarborough High School. He's heading to Quinnipiac in the fall. Outside take for ball one. Frink this postseason hitting 3 for 6, has scored 3 runs. Spoils that. Had limited playing time during the regular season, but has showed up in a big way here. He's also the starting catcher for this squad. Lightning, of course, comprised exclusively of rising freshmen. That's lined into center field. Anthony Poole tracks it down for out number 1.
Up next, Henry Lodger.
Henry Lodger, out of Thornton Academy as well. Heading to Husson in the fall, where he will join the man on the mound, who throws in a strike. Lodger's 2 for 7 with a 2-base hit, double, I could say, as well as 3 strikeouts. Quick 0-2 against Smith, who is dealing so far. He's not allowed a hit, nor a base runner of any kind against the 4 men that have tried. 0-2, left high. Regular season, Lodger hit 154 with 5 runs batted in, coming off a high school season where his Trojans fell to the eventual champion South Portland Red Riots, who themselves have a few players on this team we've already seen from, Heffernan and Gilboy, to name a few. Cut and a miss, strike 3, second K for Smith. Nothing going for the Lightning yet.
Up next, Gus Holland.
Gus Holland has been one of their best hitters this season. Hit 354 with 5 runs batted in the regular season. Across their 2 playoff games, he's 1 for 5 with a walk. So has not found that same success under the metaphorical and literal on Thursday night, postseason lights. Fouled off his ankle. 0-2. Smith at Dewin at third, over to Seguin. And that's 6 up, 6 down for the Lightning. Normally so noisy with the bats, especially early in the game. They have been flummoxed by Alex Smith's arm. The Norsemen trying to break through after an inning of close calls here in the bottom of the second. Back we are for the bottom of the second. Jurowitz, Seguin, Cody, batters 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Norsemen against Ian Libby. Managed a couple hits and a walk in the first inning, but no runs could come of it. That's hit high into left, arcing foul, giving chases Gilboy, but that will be out of play. A few rows over from the group of fans who have brought a rig up tarp into the stands, trying to rig it up on uneven footing in that section of bleachers. I wish them the best of luck. That's hit softly off the bat of Jurowitz, but fielded in time by the second baseman Hotham for out number 1.
Up next, Ben Seguin.
Seguin now, the Scarborough High School graduate, sophomore at St. Joseph's. This regular season he hit .271, batted in 7 runs. After a freshman year with the Monks, where he had just 4 at-bats, 2 of them were strikeouts, none of them were hits. 1-0 from Libby. Fouled off the shin of Seguin. Against the Patriots, he went 1 for 2 with a double. And reached on an error as well. Or excuse me, he walked. He was a part of the controversial play that ended up getting the Norsemen a run when it looked like an inning ending, strike him out, throw him out, double play. 2-1. 3-1 now. From Libby, the USM commit. And he walked him. Left that one outside. Second walk issued by the 6'7" righty.
Up next, Jack Cody.
Jack Cody hitting 9th. A sure-handed second baseman. Making his postseason debut. Left high for ball 1. Libby this season, 23 1/3 innings. His 0.6 ERA was very tops in the league. Did make a couple starts. The early throw hitting Cody in the head with that pitch. Throws down to first. Can't pick off Seguin. And now a mound conference with manager Matt Powers. We got a Matt versus Matt managerial duel today. Matt Rogers on the Norseman side. He's over at third base in the green cap. Matt Powers out to talk with his man. Cody, sophomore at Husson. A lot of Husson students, both future and present, in this game today. He's a criminal justice major there, out of Thornton Academy. 2-0 coming. Man on first, 1 away. Kyle Doohan on deck. That's right down the middle. That gets past the catcher Frink. Into second, Seguin. First pass ball for Frink on the game. And waved at and missed by Cody to bring the count full. And that's strike 3. Libby fights back from a 3-1 deficit to sit Cody down, his second K.
Kyle Doohan.
Now I'll bring up the top of the order with 2 away, a man in scoring position. Kyle Doohan flied out to right on the first pitch of the game, or the first pitch he saw for the Norsemen. Line down right field, foul. Again, I apologize for any buffering we might be getting. So the technology we are afforded. Continue to troubleshoot if need be. 0-1. Inside to Dewin. Who has a brother on this team. He's in attendance today, Cam. Also out of Coney High School, as you might expect. Just misses with that fastball, 2-1. Second straight inning, Libby has allowed a man to reach scoring position. In the first, he let two people get there. Chopped to first. Fielded on a hop by Gilboy, and he steps on the bag to end the threat. Once again, the Norsemen go without scoring. 0-0 as we head to the third. To the third inning we go on Old Orchard Beach. The Lightning have been 6 up and 6 down. Henry Bebo, Grady Hotham, Matthew Connor. The bottom third of the order getting their first crack at Alex Smith, who's having the game of his season through 2. Bebo lays down a beautiful bunt, but just not beautiful enough. Throw comes in from Smith to Chimino for out number 1. Hotham will bat now. Grady Hotham out of Palermo and Erskine Academy, going to USM in the fall. He hit 122 with 7 runs batted in, paced the GNCBL with 22 strikeouts. So far in the postseason, though, he only has 1, and he has been the Lightning's best hitter through both their games. He's gone 4 for 6, driven in a run. 1-0 from Smith. Fouled back. The winner of this game will advance to the championship, which will be Tuesday night right here, needing only to win once to be crowned the GNCBL's champion. Down the middle, 1 and 2. The loser, meanwhile, will go down to the losers' finals game to play off against the Nor'easters. That game will be right after this one, with the winner of that contest advancing to the championship on the loser's side. They can still take home the trophy, but to do so, they will have to win twice against whoever they are facing. Just fights one off, does Hotham. Still 1 and 2. It's been a pitcher's duel thus far. Popped him up, fouled back out of play. And off the end of the bat, softly to second. Throws on to Chimino for out number 2. Third straight ground out coaxed by Smith.
Up next, Matthew Connor.
And Matthew Connor, the 9-man, with 2 away and the base is empty. Out of Assumption, or heading to Assumption, out of Cheverus High School. This season he hit 188. Drove in 3 runs. Takes strike 1 there. Waved at and missed. Trying to become the only member of the Lightning lineup to reach base against Smith in his first try, but hit right at the second baseman, Jack Cody, who makes a nice jumping catch. And Alex Smith, perfect through 3. Bottom of the 3rd. Norsemen will plate the heart of their lineup against Ian Libby. Anthony Poole, Riley Hassan, and Chris Chimino getting their second looks, and they all reach base. Their first time's up to load the bases with 1 out in the first. Ian Libby was able to get out of that jam, but no thanks to this trio. Anthony Poole led off the party with a single. Spoils that foul back out of play. These two teams had very different last days of the regular season. The Norsemen went into the day as the 4 seed, Lightning 2, as that's hit well into center field. Ranging to make the catch is Henry Lodger for out number 1. Excuse me. As I was saying, the Norsemen were the 4 seed, Lightning 2. Both teams played a pair of games and a doubleheader on the last games of their respective campaigns. The Norsemen won both of theirs. The Lightning lost both of theirs, so those seeds swapped. And that is why the Norsemen have home field advantage in this one. Riley Hassan up now, also singled. In the dirt. One and one. Into left center. Ranging, and they will not track it down. Center fielder and the left fielder converged, but neither could cover that ground in time. And so in with a double, second hit of the day for Riley Hassan. And for the 3rd straight inning, the Norsemen have a man in scoring position with less than 2 outs. Will they capitalize? Chris Chimino did what Chris Chimino does in the first inning, drew a walk. Line back foul. Thought that was coming right for me at first. One and one. Hit into left. And this time able to make the grab. Lodger for out number 2. Two down.
At bat, Nate Rogers.
Nate Rogers lined out right at the second baseman Hotham for the second out of the first inning. And he takes a strike here. Taken low, 2-1 by Rogers, who against the Patriots went 1 for 2 with a walk. Now 2-2. And cut and a miss. And for the third straight inning, the Lightning escape. The Norsemen still have yet to break through. Through 3 quick innings, 0-0. The Lightning went 0 for 9 their first respective times at bat. They will begin their second trip through the order with a collective goal of getting any base runner against Alex Smith. And that first pitch to Andrew Heffernan is hit well, but not well enough for Anthony Poole not to catch it. Heffernan has seen 2 pitches and flied out twice. And Campbell Cassidy now with 1 away. He struck out one of 2 Alex Smith Ks. I thought the Alex Smith starting choice was interesting at first, but I have been silenced as he has thrown 2 pitches in this inning and has recorded 2 outs. He is only looking more and more dominant.
Up next, Richie Gilboy.
Richie Gilboy is flied out. Now, I haven't been in the broadcasting game long enough to know when you're allowed to start talking about the potential of something special. So I'll hold off for now. But just know it's there. 1-0. 2-0 on Gilboy. Making his second start in 3 playoff games for the Lightning. Was absent for the wild card game against the Windjammers, where his services were not exactly needed, in a 7-2 rout. 2-1 into right field, and that will break up the perfect game bid. Lightning players happy about that. Gilboy has a 2-out single.
Up next, Nick Frank.
That is the first base runner allowed by the starting pitcher for the Norsemen. Now Nick Frink will try and keep that train going. He flied out to start the second inning. Fouled back to right. Two down and a man on first. In the dirt, good stop by Connolly. We're already nearly halfway through this game, and it has barely been 40 minutes. Lined up the middle, and another hit off of Smith. So the Lightning now in business. All they needed was a second look at Smith, it seems.
Up next, Henry Roger.
Henry Lodger will bat with 2 on and 2 out. He struck out swinging in the second. And that's into foul territory. Seguin with a nice play. He stretches out his left arm and makes the grab deep into foul territory right in front of his bench. And so that will end the Lightning threat. But Alex Smith is mortal, and he allows a couple hits. 0-0, halfway home, heading to the bottom of the fourth. Back to the action in the bottom of the fourth inning with Kevin Connolly, David Jurowitz, and Ben Seguin due up. Lays down a bunt fielded by Libby and falls down, and he can't make the play. Gilboy actually made a great play on that to prevent that from going into right field. Libby looked like slipped on a patch of grass there. Would have been an exceptional play if he had been able to make the putout. So Connolly with a single, his first hit of the day. And fresh off of jinxing Alex Smith's perfect game bid, I'm hoping the Lightning surely are hoping that I don't prophesize the Norsemen finally breaking through on a scoring opportunity here. 1 on and none out for Jurowitz, who grounded out to second base. Looks at ball 1. Ben Seguin due up after him. Hit well into left, but into the bullpen. And that just barely finds the strike zone. Libby threw 2 2 innings, has surrendered 3 hits, issued 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, is not allowed to run yet. Left the bases loaded in the top of the first. And that will be strike 3. Just finds the corner of the zone once again. Jurewicz sits down for K number 3. Ben Seguin drew the second Ian Libby walk in the second. Got to second base on a pass ball, but was stranded there. Takes the ball inside. As I said before, the Norsemen and the Lightning both have nearly their full pitching ranks in attendance, so not that the Norsemen hopefully will need to go to their bullpen anytime soon, given the precocious pitching thus far of Alex Smith. Libby has been a bit wobblier, but he has not let the floodgates open yet. 1-1 to Seguin coming, the 5'7" righty from Scarborough. Up the middle and past the glove of Grady Hotham into right field for a base hit, stretching to third base, and will get in there safely. A bit of heads-up base running by Kevin Connolly and by Ben Seguin. Connolly was able to go from first to third, and Seguin saw the throw coming into third, was able to stretch that to a double on a routine base hit up the middle. And now runners on second and third with 1 out. Could this be the end of the line for Ian Libby? The mound conference commencing. Jack Cody on deck, who struck out his first time up. Has not been the strongest of hitters for the Norsemen this year in the starting lineup, mainly for his defense. But the Norsemen, with a penchant of getting timely contributions from unlikely heroes all season. You need that in order to make as many comebacks as they have. Ian Libby will remain on the bump. Kyle Doohan due up. He's 0 for 3 today, or 0 for 2 rather, but he is still not someone you want to face in a jam like this. Cody with 2 men on and 1 away. Any ball that leaves the infield or a ball that does that will score a run. That goes past the arm, well over the arm of Nick Frink. He tried to throw it back, but there was no one covering home plate. And the Norsemen draw first blood on a wild pitch. Connolly scores, and Ben Seguin advances to third. Cody takes ball 2. That is one way to score a run. So the Norsemen do indeed finally break through here in the 4th. That's fouled back. May have broken a seat. I think it did, actually. 2-1. Good stop by Frink. Libby beginning to wobble. 3-1. And he walked him, and that goes through the legs of Frink once more. And that will plate the Norsemen's second run on another wild pitch. Well, it's not the most common way to score 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out, but a pair of wild pitches get it done. Cody also on board with the 3rd walk issued by Libby. And now the top of the order, runner goes, and Doohan crushes that out to right, ranging back Cassidy. He makes the grab, and now running back to first is Cody. Very narrowly avoided getting doubled off there. He definitely thought that was going to go off the wall or over it. Doohan is 0 for 3. Cody able to scamper back into first. And Anthony Poole is 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out. With a man on first and 2 outs. The Norsemen already with 2 runs in. against Libby, who this year had no peer in the ERA department. His 0.60 mark was all by itself. Mile-high pop-up into right field, ranging Hotham, and he makes the grab on the run to retire the side. But the Norsemen were bound to break through eventually, and they do here. 2 runs in the 4th. The Lightning now on the back foot. They will have to get more going against Alex Smith. We'll see what happens as we head to our 5th frame. To this 5th inning of play we go, in a game that is just flying by. Alex Smith on for his 5th inning of work, but both teams with actions in their respective bullpens. Quinn McDonald is up and working on the Lightning side after a rocky Ian Libby inning that saw 2 Norsemen cross the plate. Gus Holland takes strike 1. The Norsemen with someone up in their pen as well. I'll let you know who it is once I get a glimpse of the number. Strike 2 to Holland, who grounded out his first time up. I believe that's Lucas Francis up in the Norseman pen. 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Connolly will throw down to complete it. That is the 3rd K from Alex Smith. And now Henry Bebo will bat. He grounded out to the pitcher, tried to lay down a bunt to lead off the 3rd. Was not successful. In the strike zone, Smith gave up a pair of singles at the end of the last frame, but commentators' curse aside, he has been perfect. And he has not thrown a ball yet in this inning. I believe he's immaculate, actually. And that continues. Once again, Connolly will have to... No, he won't. Thought he did, but he didn't have to. Another strikeout. And Grady Hotham is not the worst person to be facing if you want to complete that immaculate inning. He can't, though. Ball 1 left high. Hotham grounded out, as many of his peers did. Hit into center. Poole. No trouble making the play. Another 1-2-3 frame. The Lightning need to find something that'll stick. And as long as Alex Smith is on the mound, it looks unlikely that they will. Norsemen get to tack on some more, perhaps, in the bottom half of this inning. Bottom of the fifth with the Norsemen due up. Hassan, Cimino, and Rogers, the trio. And Hassan takes ball one. He is 2 for 2 today with a single and a double. Right at the second baseman. Almost ate him up, and that was an excellent play. Could not get it right in his glove, Grady Hotham, but regrouped and threw on for an excellent out number one.
Up next, Chris Cimino.
Strike one delivered to Chris Cimino, who has walked and flied out. The sun is out here. There was an extended respite from sunlight for a bit. That goes to the backstop for a ball. Lined into left field. Going back, making the play, Matthew Connor for out number 2.
Up next, Nate Rogers.
Nate Rogers has lined out and grounded out. The left fielder will bat with 2 down and the base is empty. Just finds the strike zone. Does Libby, who's still out there. On the ground to third. Fielded by Heffernan. Over to Gilboy. The South Portland connection is true. 1, 2, 3 go. The Norsemen here in the bottom of the fifth. The Lightning have just 6 more outs to mount a comeback. Matthew Connor, Andrew Heffernan, and Campbell Cassidy are the 3 due up in the top of the 6th against Alex Smith. Lucas Francis up once again in the Norseman pen. Perhaps he comes on as the closer. Into strike one for Connor, who lined out his first time up. On a nice little nifty jumping grab by Jack Cody. That's into right. Foul ground on top of the Norseman dugout, out of play. Oh and 2 on the Lightning left fielder. Hit well into center. Poole going back, and he's got it. Andrew Heffernan has flied out twice. He has seen just 2 pitches and hit them both into the gloves of outfielders.
Up next, Andrew Heffernan.
Besides a pair of singles in the 4th, the Lightning have not gotten anything off of Alex Smith. This has been the most dominant performance possibly of any pitcher this season. That's into center field, but just too hard off the bat of Heffernan. He is 0 for 3. Two to nothing.
At bat, Campbell Cassidy.
In the top of the 6th inning, the Norsemen now 4 outs away from a trip to the championship and a chance to go home early today. Big cut from Cassidy, who's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. He's mired in an 0 for 6 that just ended with that pitch. Since the wild card game, I was going to say, gets a single there.
Up next, Richie Gilmore.
Just the 3rd hit surrendered by Smith. Richie Gilboy has one of those. He was the first man to reach base against him with a single in the 4th inning. And he takes ball 1. Fouled back. Hope everyone is enjoying this live stream today. There are a few technical glitches along the way, but I think we've got it all settled. Happy I'm finally able to work this out and bring this to the GNCBL faithful. 1-1 from Smith is fouled over just past the outstretched arms of a few nor'easters who have arrived and are watching the last few innings of this one. One, two. Struck him out. And the Lightning with no answers. If that is the last we see of Alex Smith, it is a performance for GNCBL history. It will be 6 innings of 3 hit, no run, 4 strikeout, actually 5 strikeout now ball. And the Norsemen will bat for what is for them hopefully the final time. In the bottom of the 6th, they lead it 2-0. Bottom of the 6th then, a pitching change for the Lightning. Ian Libby's day is done after 5 innings of 3 hit, 2 run, 3 walk, 3 strikeout, 2 wild pitch ball. Both runs scored off of wild pitches. Blake Peoples, his replacement, the seldom used reliever, now in to pitch to Kevin Connolly, along with David Jurwitz and Ben Seguin. Connolly is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. He scored the Norsemen's first run when he was wild pitched home from third in the 4th inning. 2-0. Missing. From Peoples, a Wyndham High School graduate. He's heading to Southern Maine Community College. As I said, not a lot of innings this year for him. So no stats to pull from. Right down the middle for strike 1. 3-1 the count. His high school season, he had a 2.40 ERA. As that's hit into right center field. At the edge of the warning track, that actually kept on carrying further than it looked like it would off the bat, but Henry Lodger tracked it down and got it for out number 1.
Up next, David Jurwitz.
David Jurwitz will bat. He is grounded out and struck out. On the ground to second, Hotham. Over to Gilboy. 2 down. Ben Seguin has had himself a day. He has walked and doubled.
Ben Seguin.
In the 4th inning, he doubled, got to third on a wild pitch, then got home on a wild pitch. Missing outside is Peoples. Both runs scored by the Norsemen came via Ian Libby wild pitches. Barring a rally in the next frame, that will be the difference in the game. Lined back foul by Seguin. 1-1. Jack Cody on deck should Seguin reach. If the Lightning cannot come back, they will turn right around and presumably hand the ball to one of Quinn McDonald, Gavin Belargin, or Josh Kopetsky, their 3-headed starting pitching monster, to take on their fated rivals, the Nor'easters, who are waiting for them in the loser's bracket. In for strike 2. That misses outside. Haven't had a lot of full counts today. There's been a lot of quick at-bats and quick outs. This game has only recently gone longer than an hour. We're at an hour 10 right now. And that's in for ball 4. Second walk drawn by Seguin. And that will bring Jack Cody to the plate. Now, YouTube may or may not cap this live stream at an hour and a half. So if that does come to pass, I'm just hoping that it will allow for another live stream to be started post-haste. Ball 1 delivered to Cody, who is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Has a couple nice plays at second base. Did not check his swing on a breaking ball. 1-1. 2-0 advantage for the Norsemen. Fouled back, nearly taking the heads off of several Norsemen players. That was a few feet lower and might have saw a Lightning player, I believe it was, get clocked by a rogue foul ball. I believe that was during the wild card game. First time I'd seen that this year. That drops right in for strike 3. Cody goes down. So the Norsemen cannot tack on any more insurance. It will be up to Nick Frink, Henry Lodger, and Gus Holland in the top of the 7th inning, with the Lightning 3 outs away from a trip to the loser's bracket and a rematch with those Nor'easters. Alex Smith back on the bump to try and complete this complete game shutout. He's 3 outs away from doing just that. Nick Frink, Henry Lodger, and Gus Holland due up. Frink is one of just 3 Lightning bats that have gotten the better of him today. He has allowed a trio of singles, and that is it. No walks, no hit by pitches, and no runs. Golfed foul back out of play by Frink, who has a single and a flyout. Also watched a pair of balls sail past him while he was catching Ian Libby that plated 2 Norseman runs, 1 and 2. Lucas Francis still working in the Norseman pen, it appears, as either a last resort. And that's out into left. That'll drop for a base hit. Leadoff single for Frink. The first time the entire game the Lightning have had the leadoff man reach.
Up next, Henry Lodger.
Henry Lodger has a strikeout and a pop out. Popped out on a nifty play to Ben Seguin, who laid out for it in foul territory. So I was saying Francis would either be an emergency use either for the bottom of any extra innings, or if the Lightning do lose this game and have to play against the Nor'easters. If the Norsemen lose this game and have to play against the Nor'easters, he would be the starter. Got jammed, fouled that one back. 0-1 to Lodger, who was busy out in center field. Lots of hard hit balls off of Ian Libby. Certainly not his best start of the season. Skipped in the dirt. One and one. The Nor'easters getting some swings in the batting cages underneath the stadium. That's hit well. Out to left, going back, and that's over the wall. A home run with 2 outs to go. The Lightning tie it up. And Alex Smith, perfect until the very end. Henry Lodger, the hero, drives home Nick Frink, and we are tied in the top of the 7th. I do not believe it. I have seen some crazy finishes this season, but I have not seen anything like that. And that will be it for Alex Smith. 6 1/3 innings. 6 innings actually, did not record an out in the 7th. Down the pipe. His teammates out to give him some love. Lucas Francis will be the man. The emergency situation comes to pass, and now the Norsemen will have to try to avoid giving up the lead entirely. Henry Lodger this season was without a home run, hit 154. Over a pair of playoff games, he hit 2 for 7, did have a double, and was hitless today. But the hit of the season for him coming at the best possible time. Andrew Heffernan now. The Lightning have to have a man up in the bullpen to close things out, and Heffernan has been the closer all season for them. Lucas Francis warming up on the bump for the Norsemen. What a finish. Lack of a finish, I should say. Smith was 2 outs away from capping off not only his best start of the season, but perhaps the best start this season by any pitcher. And instead, his final line is 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, and 5 strikeouts. Francis has been lights out this season in starting and in relief. He paced the Norsemen in innings with 41 2/3 in the regular season. His 28 strikeouts were tied for fourth in the league. His 3.84 ERA also up there. Gus Holland will bat with none away and 2 runs in the top of the 7th.
Gus Holland.
Now the Norsemen thanking their lucky stars that they won a pair of games on the final day of their regular season, because if not, then the Lightning would be poised to walk this game off. Instead, the Nor'easters will have a chance in the bottom of the 7th to answer. And that hit him. First pitch, hit by pitch. Holland aboard. Lightning dugout voicing their support. Henry Bebo has grounded out to the pitcher and struck out. And a pinch runner will come in. Blake Peoples will run for Holland, so that does guarantee there will be a pitching change in the bottom of the 7th.
At bat, Henry Bebo.
Francis, a submarine righty, throws down to first. Still has not recorded a first out. Senior at USM out of Lisbon High School, former Mr. Maine baseball. On to quiet these Lightning bats who have come to life at the last possible moment. Bunted that foul. And they'll say that's a hit by pitch. Tried to go for a bunt, but it got him on the wrist. Coach Matt Rogers out to clarify the ruling of that. So 2 straight hit by pitches. You can't help but get the feeling things may be starting to unravel for this Norseman squad. Looking
At bat, Grady Hoffman.
so flawless all game. Grady Hotham will bat. He's grounded out and flied out. And now these Norsemen kicking themselves that they did not cash in on the numerous chances they had earlier in this game. Only got 2 runs, and both of those were courtesy of Ian Libby wild pitches. That's a foul bunt by Hotham. Strike 1. Reese Owens due up. He will pinch hit for Matthew Connor. Another bunt. Can't try that again. And that hit the catcher Connolly, and he appears to be shaken up now. Had to take his mask off. Might need to walk it off. Did not catch where that hit him. Nowhere too sensitive, though, because he's back in. Norseman still yet to record an out. The leadoff man in every inning this game was retired, except for this one. A Nick Frank signal got things going. Henry Lodger homered in 2, and the Lightning appear to be far from done. 0-2. And that goes off the glove of Connolly, and those runners will advance. No bunt required. So now no double play opportunity. Into left field. Rogers ranging. He won't get there. 1 run will score. That is it. Hanging up at third base is Bebo. But the Lightning have taken the lead with a 3-run top of the 7th inning. After being silent all game, they chased Alex Smith from this game, and now 3 straight have reached against the normally unflappable Lucas Francis. That's the first hit of the day for Hotham. So runners on the corners for Reese Owens, who will bat for Matthew Connor. Runner goes. Weak grounder to second base. Throws on for out number 1, but another run comes in. Hotham advances to third on that. A sacrifice grounder to give the Lightning a 4-2 lead. And the deficit has now been reversed with the top of the Lightning order. Andrew Heffernan was in the bullpen earlier this inning. Surely did not expect that he would get a chance to bat, but here we are. A runner on third with 1 away. Norsemen finally get their first out on that play. Big cut from Heffernan. Hotham, the man at third. A 1. That's into right field. Going back, Jurewicz. He'll make the grab. Tagging is Hotham. He will score. 5 men have reached base for the Lightning, and all 5 come around to score. That is the third out. No, it is not. My apologies. That's out number 2. 5-2 now. This shocking turnaround just continues. Campo Cassidy swings through strike 1. He's had a rough go of things. That was Heffernan's 4th fly out of the game, but that one was at least productive. Driving in a run. Cassidy has struck out, grounded out, and singled. Finds himself down 0-2. The Norsemen with a mountain to climb now. What was once looking like a cruise to victory, 3 outs away. Now they'll need to pull one of their patented comebacks out. And that will do it. Cassidy goes down on strikes. Lucas Francis finally gets out number 3. But the Norsemen now in desperation mode with the top of their lineup due up. Doohan, Poole, and Hassan. Can they make some magic happen? Stay right here. Well, the bottom of the 7th, a half inning that for the entirety of this game up until about 15 minutes ago did not appear like it was going to be played, but here we are. Andrew Heffernan, who has been the regular closer for the Lightning, had to get ready on a moment's notice. And he will pitch to the top of the Norseman order. Kyle Doohan has not had the best game today. 2 flyouts and a ground out. And make that 2 ground outs. 1 away. Anthony Poole has singled and flat out twice. The Norsemen now 2 outs away from a date with the Nor'easters, where they will not have home field advantage. That will be seeds 1 and 2 playing in the losers bracket, with seed 4 having advanced all the way to the championship. But that is baseball. 1-0. Line to third through the legs of the third baseman, Richie Gilboy, who has moved over with Reese Owens taking his spot at first, and Anthony Poole has his second hit of the game.
Up next, Riley Hassan.
Riley Hassan has 2 hits. A single and a double. It also has a ground out. With 1 away and a man on. Can the Norsemen do it again? Big cut from the hard-hitting Hassan. His college campaign at Johnson & Wales, where he is now a senior, he hit .430 with 6 home runs and 64 runs batted in. Just barely checked his swing there. One and one. Into left field, just barely foul. Hassan this season batting .442, so actually outdid that mark. That's second in the GNCBL. He's slugging .581, which is 5th with 12 runs batted in. Those are his regular season numbers. Foul tip and just barely not corralled by Frink. That could have been out number 2. So far this season, this postseason, Hassan is 0 for 2 with a walk coming into today. Now 2 for 6. 2 for 5, actually. Trying to make it 3 for 6. 2 for 2 throw comes into first. 2 and 2, excuse me. Heffernan was a two-way star in high school. 0.33 ERA and a .432 average. On the ground, just foul. Norseman manager Matt Rogers could not make a play on it. Two and two. Hassan fights another one off. This is a critical juncture. Chris Cimino due up should the inning get to him, who is a great rally extender due to his prowess at drawing walks. Lightning leading it 5-2. Another close pickoff attempt. They scored 5 runs an inning ago. On the ground is short. On to second for 1, but not in time to turn 2. So Hassan aboard on a fielder's choice.
Up next, Chris.
And Chris Cimino is the final out. The final man standing between the Norsemen and a win-or-go-home playoff game that will be played directly after this. He takes strike 1. Cimino has walked and flied out twice. Nate Rogers on deck. He's 0 for 3. Should the inning get to him. In for strike 2. Cimino not enthused with that call. Heffernan can end it right here. Lined into left foul. We're about to find out once and for all if this hour-and-a-half rule is real. I don't believe it is, though. That goes off the pads of the catcher Frink. So Hassan into second. If the stream is broken and I just don't see it yet, I apologize to everyone who cannot hear me. 1 and 2. Heffernan. He struck him out right down the middle. And the Lightning, 3 outs away from defeat. They crawl back and end up winning this game by 3. Heffernan gets a save, and they win it 5-2. They are now just 1 out away, the doorstep of their second straight GNCBL title. The only thing they don't have yet is an opponent, but they will find that out by the end of the day today. These Norsemen are not done yet. They're going to move over to the other dugout and become the road team, as the 1-seeded Nor'easters will square off with them in the battle of the GNCBL's top 2 teams in losers finals. That stream will be on this channel. They will start that up once that game is about to start, so don't go anywhere. Until then, though, I've been Charlie Fellows. Take care.